Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Thursday, October 14th. And today is also the crude oil inventory report, but I'm not going to be able to stick around that late this morning. That comes out at 11 o'clock Eastern. So you will be on your own for that one today. But crude starting off this morning. Good morning, Miles. With a short that hits target 1 and a small trailer. That's a one and done for the 9 a.m. session. Should have been fairly easy to get into. Crude's not real active this morning, it doesn't look like. Unleaded has been having a tough time this morning. Started off getting into this long. Sets a new session high and then comes down and reverses to short. That would come at 43.44. It's money management and a medium trailer. It's about half of what was lost on the stop and reverse. And then gets into a long, which is a full stop. Probably in that, possible that one was not tradable, but I'll assume so. And now in a short. Actually, the short hits money management and then comes back and stops out for a one tick break even. So 1, 2, 3, 4 trades this morning, and so far a negative result. Pound Aussie has been active. I got into the long at 84.94, and then that stopped out at 79, and I got a short at 78. That is currently in process. Trade a day called along, but then that canceled, apparently not triggering in, and is now also active in a short from 84.74. So 4 ticks below where I got in. But money management is at 84.57 on trade a day, and mine is at 84.63. So markets just opened, and strong up move on the YM. That setup was prior to our start time. Heating oil, that is right on start time, and so that picks up target 3 and will be trailing. Actually, does it pick up target 3? Yes, it does. 29 ticks, and it's currently at 401. And since that's a key level of adjustment, 398 would actually be, since the scalp has come off, I would bring it to 398. But it will start trailing the EMA here momentarily. And unleaded with another short, bounce down through target 2. 30 seconds after Yeah, so that should have had plenty of time to get in. Target 2 was worth 28 ticks, and we're now trailing and just stopped out. That's 5 trades. Still doesn't look like it's going to be positive, although it's a whole lot closer now. Yeah, we lost 78 on 2 positions on the full stop on the long. So we had a possible get in sync on soybeans, get in sync long, but that didn't trigger, and we subsequently went short easily in there with a couple of chances to get in. Target 1 and 1 tick on the break on the stop. So that's one and done. So look at bean oil this morning. And it looks like bean oil picked up a long that was a full stop out. Unfortunately, that is a one and done trade plan. So that is all for this morning. Heating oil now picking up a long. Looks like we got down to 53.97 for the stop on heating oil. So we picked up a couple of ticks. And we are in long. And actually that has already stopped out for break even. That was at 54.01. So lost a couple of ticks there, 53.99 for the stop, the key level adjustment. And I would make that adjustment around the major key level. YM with a short here at 649. That goes to target 1. That is your POQ trade for the morning there. So lots of quick activity this morning. Money management on the pound Aussie on my chart, not yet for trade today. Make sure YM's there. Yeah, most likely in no shouldn't have been any problem to get into that one. So one and done. If you didn't get that one, or if you're trying 2 trades, you got a second target 1. So I would have made sure to get my 1 tick. That's a major key level again around the 50. Putting the stop at 51, but rather than at 48. But I would make sure I got out at 48 since I did hit target on the YM. Excuse me for just a moment while I take care of my pound Aussie trade. Right. And another short on the heating oil. Catapult hitting target 3. And currently 1 tick for break even, but still active. Stop is at 53.46. Looks like the entry was 47. Not quite getting target 1 for me on the pound Aussie. And unleaded, trade number 6. This will be our last trade of the morning on unleaded. And this is another major key level. So the stop is at 42.01. The entry was at 41.99. But hitting money management there. And looking for a second target. Target 2 on this trade is 75 ticks. So that will give us and just missing it by 1 tick, it looks like. Target 2 at 41.24. And looks like we got as low as 41.25. So that would have been a good place to take your profit. Stop now at 41.96. Now, Catapult actually doing a little better with this. 8:45 start. Had a bunch of trades in here. Picked up a break even, a scalp, and a small trailer. Full stop on the long. Another just missing target 3, it looks like. Yeah, just missing the scalp and a break even there. So that would be your 3 wins. Another loss on the long. Then there's your target 3 and a nice, at least target 1 trailer. Another long loss. So it's still noisy, but doing better than Spotlight has so far. Spotlight stopped now at 41.78. And the pound Aussie trying to get down to its session low and hopefully push through that to my first target. First target for trade today is 84.56. So a little bit lower than mine. And there, that should target 1 for me. Stop is still at break even for me. It hasn't moved down yet, but it will start to very shortly. Okay, heating oil with a 4th trade. That is a long, actually still short at the moment, and trailing the short. The entry is at the stop. So the YM and crude one and done this morning. Pound Aussie trying to push down and coming back up, bouncing back up off of its low, but stop now trailing down to 84.76 for me. Still full risk on. Actually, is it? I've gotten down to 84.56.1 and 84.57. So on Awanda's data, Trade a Day has hit money management, but Kevin has not posted anything yet. So I suspect TradeStation has not gotten down to money management yet on the Pound Aussie. Target 2 achieved on unleaded. Stop down to 41.32. So this is the last trade. And this should very likely get us at least somewhat positive. Took 6 trades to do it, but it looks like it's getting positive. And heating oil stopping out of the short and going long. Let's see what happens with that. The longs haven't been looking great, but we'll see if it can at least get up to money management. The entry was 55.331, so it'll have to get to 4.1 for money management, 1 tick above target 1 there. $41.31 for the unleaded stop. And there is a short if you're taking more than 1 trade on the bean oil in the lower left. That's the chart that has the ZL symbol for me. That is soybean oil with a 59.39 entry. Taking heat here. And unleaded stopping out at 41.31. And I'm going to, that's all its 6 trades. And of course the short doing very nicely there. Good scalp and a nice trade, and pretty much the same trailer, I suspect. Entry on that is 42.04, so it was actually just a little bit higher. Picking up 38 ticks on the scalp and Stopped out at 36. Actually, hasn't stopped out yet. The stop is at 36. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, it stopped out at 36. And just now triggered back long. Looks like I just missed target. Did I hit target 2? I didn't get filled if I did. $84.52 and got as low as 52. Missed it by 1 tick. Oh well. But my stop is at 84.66 now, and target 1 hit on trade a day stopped to 84.71. All right, folks. Are there questions this morning? We're waiting for the 10 a.m. crude session. Pound Aussie is in a nice short trade. And everything else has gotten some nice trades in. But I would be done with, I think, everything. And Pound Aussie coming up close to my stop. Let's see if it holds. My stop's at 66. It should be GBP USD or AUS, because the British pound is usually GBP. Don asking the trade station symbol for the Pound Aussie, I'm assuming. And if I remember correctly on Troy's charts, I don't think there's a slash in it. I think it's GBP AUS. Just the same six characters that I use on mine. Those are pretty standard symbols pretty much across the board. Unless they changed it in TradeStation 10, I'm pretty sure, I want to say those are, that's what I seem to remember Troy's charts always being the 6 character symbols, or maybe with a slash in the middle of them. But I would look for GBP AUS or GBP / AUS. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. AUD is that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, thank you, Miles. But from what I remember of Troy's charts on the spot currency market, on the forex market, TradeStation had been using pretty much the same symbols. That's what I thought. That's what I'm using on NinjaTrader, but I thought that's what it was for TradeStation. Ron Ant saying that it is GBP AUD. Great Britain pound and Australian dollar. And bean oil with another full loss if you're trading more than one. Pound Aussie coming very close to a no, shouldn't. Okay, if you're looking at Z21, you're looking at the actual futures contracts, which is completely different than the forex spot market. And BP USD would be the pound, probably the pound US futures, currency futures. Ron, will TradeStation let you do that now? Just typing in the chart window. I know that's how I do it with NinjaTrader, but I'm not sure that will work with TradeStation. But yes, Don, to your question, yeah, if you're looking at a contract, then you're looking at futures contract. Okay. I don't think Troy has ever done that in the room. He's always gone to format symbol for 9.5. TradeStation did stop trading forex, but they're still letting you chart it. You can still get forex data, and that's what the Trade a Day service uses, is forex data on TradeStation. And target 2 achieved on my pound Aussie chart. My stop still at 66. Trade a Day stop still at 61 or 71. And Trade a Day has only hit target 1. Target 2 is at 84.44 which is actually just a couple of ticks above, a couple of pips above my target 3. But that's the difference in data, is how the chart's set up. And that's something with forex, is I'm using Awanda data versus TradeStation data. So that's right. That's what Troy uses, is FX Synergy on MT4, and I believe he actually trades on Awanda. Some days they're very close to the same. Some days they're a little off, and I know the Awanda data tends to be a bit more active than, based on what I'm seeing from Trade a Day. because I don't have TradeStation data. So I find that the EMAs are definitely in different spots. Okay, unleaded, picking up a couple more break evens. I think I would be done with unleaded this morning. Any way you trade it. And looks like heating oil getting a scalp and a small trailer on the long, then a break even short and a long that has not triggered yet, but is still valid. And the stop loss on my chart and on trade today moving to, actually mine is at 61 and it just stopped out. Trade today is at 66 now. You're quite welcome, Don. Yeah, but that's the thing, is you can't trade forex on TradeStation, and at this point you can only chart on it, which can can be a set of issues all its own, as can be seen with what happens at times with the Trade Today service, since that is trading TradeStation charts on the pound Aussie, but you can't trade that data. You're trading on another broker, so it is what it is. All right, crude looks like that is a 10 o'clock session trade. So crude is long. Bouncing off its session open, it looks like. And we'll see if that ends the slide. Heating oil. Break even on the short. The long didn't ever cancel. The only thing that will cancel a trade is if you get a cross of the cat lines in the opposite direction, and making the scalp now, and currently at the one tick break even. So I am out on the pound Aussie. Trade today is not. It's surviving so far. And hit it. That's interesting. Trade today hit its trailing stop. Wanda hasn't gotten up that high, but apparently trade station data is a bit higher. Okay. Oh, you're talking about the crossover trade. If you're depending on how you have your calculator set, by default the calculator comes with a 20 bar wait time on after the crossover. Both Troy and I running in the trade room run an 8 bar. So you see the magenta bar that I have my cursor right below now. That indicates that that's the 8th bar after the crossover. So that's, in this case, since we are above the 50, it would not, even the crossover filter would not have filtered that trade out. That would be a valid trade even within the crossover filter parameters, because you're trading with the 50 EMA at that point, not against it. So even I can change that. Because the crossover filter is not going to filter trades that are with the EMA. In other words, in agreement with it. Or in this case, it's pushing down. So you don't want to go against it, but if you got a long above the 50, that's trading with it, and therefore that trade would be allowed. So you got to come down to your filters section. Yeah, here you go. EMA crossbar count, I'll set that back up to 20. And you see we haven't gotten the magenta bar yet. This long is now filtered, but this one is still valid because it was on the upward side of the 50 EMA, on above the 50. So that's still a valid long. Does that answer your question, Ron? Okay, it's just like the squeeze filter in that respect, in that Now, it filters out trades against the 50 EMA, but not trades that agree with the 50 EMA. In other words, a long trade above the 50 or short trade below the 50 are allowed, but a long trade below, in this case, is not allowed, or a short trade above in the case of a crossover with the 50 crossing from below to above. Those are filtered out. All right. So in the long trade on crude, let's see what we lost there. Okay, 15 tick risk on that trade. Depends on your number of positions. I typically trade 4, so that's 60 ticks. And I picked up I picked up 3 positions at 17 and 1 at 26. So I am positive on the pound Aussie this morning. And since trade a day did not get into the long trade, that is a POQ session for trade a day traders. And crude oil stopping and reversing at 82. So crude is now in trade number 2 for the 10 a.m. session. And that is the short. Crude looking really noisy right now. Other questions? That's about all I see to talking about this morning. Any other questions? Crude currently in the short from 80.82, where I have that yellow line as the entry. That was the stop and reverse adjustment. And I don't see anything obvious to. Heating oil moving around, moving back and forth both ways quite a bit. Getting a lot of scalp targets, but not any runners this morning. Looks like the short there on heating oil, making a target 3 on the scalp and maybe 12 or 13 ticks on the trailer. And now we have another long that did trigger in, it looks like. And the way you know for sure that it triggered in is it didn't print the plus sign on that last bar, but it did print the stop. So that means that it has triggered in. Or at least the price hit the entry. And working in trade number 2 of the 10 a.m. crude session at the moment. Okay. Crude kind of going sideways at the moment. Right in amongst the in between the 200 EMA and the 20 SMA. The YM setting session highs, as is the micro ES. Okay, we got looks like running anywhere from 6 to 9 people in here this morning. And only 3 likes. Full stop out on the heating oil trade, if you're interested in that. And now a new short trade on unleaded catapult. And that took a quick full stop. Just a noisy day on the energies. Not going far one way or the other. Heating oil is the only one that's really been successful this morning. And that it's been at least giving us scalp targets, but not much in the way of a runner. Thank you, Don. Appreciate that. All right, and we'll do the 10 o'clock crude session today, since the inventory report is not until 11 a.m. If you do have a trade that's still running before 11 a.m., then I would definitely close that out. And full stop out on trade number 2. And at 10:25, unless we start to see some movement, I wouldn't take a third trade on crude this morning for the 10 a.m. session. That is actually 2 losing trades. All right. Well, I will try to get OBS set up on this for Monday or Tuesday actually, and see if that will improve my screen resolution on the projection. But unless there are other questions, I would say that is going to bring us to a close for the morning. I can give you 3 or 4 minutes to put in any new questions, and then bring it to a close about 10:30. 10:30 Eastern, that is. Yeah, unleaded just back and forth, not giving much of anything. All right, I haven't seen any new questions coming in, so I am going to call it a morning. We will see everybody next week. Have a good weekend. Good trading on the crude report in about 30 minutes. Report comes out at 11. Start taking trades at 11:02. And the energy crude definitely looks like it's waiting to see what's going to come from that. Up in the $81 range, huh? Bodes well for the industry, at least short term. Exploration production industry, that is. All right. Everyone, a wonderful, a good rest of the trading day, a good afternoon, and a good weekend. See everybody for Troy's regular session on Monday.